Hello, everybody. Welcome to another KMU Live podcast. I'm your host, Ricky Chabruggi, up here in the north central Kansas and down there in Oklahoma. Derek Relaford, how's it going down there?
Doing pretty good, man. How you doing?
Yeah, still trying to get off from under all the snow, but at least we can get around. It's crazy
Did you
stuff.
snow, like recently? Because we haven't had snow since last weekend.
Yeah, we're still covered. I mean, the roads are good and everything finally, but I mean, we're still got a lot on the ground that hasn't melted yet. And it's supposed to get more. Do it.
You guys got a lot more than we did.
Yeah, we got about a good foot.
Yeah. Christopher Unruh is here. Hope is out sick tonight.
Uh-oh.
She's not sick. She said that she has she's injured to where it's like basically her walking is a problem for like not for like the next day. She said that she didn't really want to. It's cold. There's not a lot of snow on the ground, but it's cold here for sure.
Yeah, I was just looking at the forecast real quick because I thought they were talking snow later in the week, but apparently they've taken it back out, so it's good for me.
Double T and y'all got 24 inches.
Yeah, I mean, it was crazy. Almost 2 feet. Oh well, it I say use on me.
Yeah, I hope it's kind of done, man. I kind of hope it's over. I don't. What's up, Raven? We'll probably a lot. She's probably from my YouTube channel. This is Kansas Missing Unsolved. It's a page by Ricky Chabruggi here. I met him in 2020. He's been doing the Facebook page Kansas Missing Unsolved since what year?
Excuse me, 2012.
Okay, so he'd been going from. We started doing live streams. We've been live streams since basically right when COVID started. So going on 5 years. Every Wednesday night, we're here trying to find some lost people. 12 inches, Roxanne said in Oklahoma. Raven says still frozen. Yeah, it's terrible out there, man.
Yeah, it's cold. That's for sure. It's cold. Yeah. Actually, today got up in the mid upper 30s today, so it really didn't feel too bad. But we'll see. It's still early.
When I moved from Phoenix, I only have like one pair of pants that I wear. Like I have a couple pairs of jeans and stuff, but I don't really want to wear. They wouldn't care if I wore jeans to the office, but I just feel weird doing it. But I have like one pair of dress slacks, and so I end up wearing shorts to work a lot. And like, that's the only thing. I didn't bother me because I'm inside most of the time. But when I have to go outside, it's awful. But like everybody's like, "Why are you wearing shorts?" I'm like, it's a long story. I moved away for a long time, and I forgot what weather was, and now I only have shorts and one pair of slacks.
Right. That would be a shock, that's for sure.
Oh, yeah, and I heard it was going to be nasty this weekend. My boss told me that.
Yeah, temperature's supposed to bottom out.
He said, I bet you don't wear shorts this weekend.
Terry says he believes 18 inches officially. That's enough. That's plenty.
Yeah, I'm not into it, man. Well, we're not doing things super different tonight, but we are going to do things a little bit different. We're going to try to segment this show out a little bit just so it's sort of everything's all in the same place. For tonight, we are going to cover some cold cases, obviously, some missing endangered runaways, and then we have some out-of-state cases that Ricky's doing. He'll do a flyer for pretty much anybody, but he focuses on Kansas, but he does have quite a few out-of-state flyers we'll share. But we're going to go ahead and take a quick break. We'll be right back after this with our first flyer, and thanks for watching Kansas Missing and Unsolved.
Part 1. Cold cases, stories left untold, families seeking answers, and justice waiting in the shadows. Together, we uncover the truth.
Hey, that's cool. Who did the voiceover?
That's a program that I pay. I can't actually pay for it this month, but I usually pay for it. It's basically just an AI. You can make it. If you listen to my podcast, Clump of Cells, I make the AI lady say some pretty horrible stuff. So,
cool.
Yeah, you can make them say anything for a prize. It costs money, but yeah,
that's cool.
It's great for podcasts. Yeah,
that's cool. I like that. Okay, we're going to start with Dietrich Foster, missing from Independence, Kansas, since April 12, 2020. He was 37 when he went missing. He's now 42, 5'9", 190 pounds, black hair and brown eyes. He was reported missing on May 12, 2020. He was last seen around April 12, 2020 in Independence. KBI agents and detectives from the Independence Police Department are conducting the case as a homicide based upon findings during the investigation into Dietrich's disappearance. Again, at the time of his disappearance, Dietrich was 37. He's now 42, 5'9", weighs 190 pounds, has black hair and brown eyes. He has a scar on his chest from heart surgery, a scar on the right side of his nose. He has the following tattoos: a cross on his right forearm, the astrological sign for Gemini on his right arm, 3 dice on his arm, the name Dejeuner on his arm, and the word fou on his abdomen. you have any information regarding Dietrich's disappearance, you know of his whereabouts, please call the Independence, Kansas Police Department at 620-332-1700 or KBI at 785-296-4017. And as always, there is a governor's reward of $5,000 for information leading to the arrest and conviction of those responsible for the disappearance and suspected murder of Dietrich Foster. So any information you have, no matter how small, minute, or how insignificant you think it might be, get it into them so they can see whether or not it's something they need or not, and see if it'll help bring Dietrich home.
Yeah. We've talked about it before, but like it's great that the government is offering 5,000, but then you got to wonder, like, what would make somebody want to sell information that could solve a homicide, potential homicide, you know?
Right.
But I mean, I bet you people are probably afraid to come out and say, "Hey, I know what happened." You know, I'm sure that if people know stuff, they're probably afraid for like retaliation reasons, or maybe nobody likes to be the messenger. You know what I mean? So,
Yeah.
Independence isn't like a huge town from like, I think I Googled it. I don't think it was like a huge town. Have you talked to our source from this case at all recently? I know she has a Facebook page. We try to read a lot on that page because they do throw around speculation, but again, it's their page. They can do whatever they want, but definitely check that page out. And but have you heard anything else? Or
I haven't heard anything else. I don't know if I'll be hearing anything from the chief or not, because he usually contacts me, you know, as we get closer to the anniversary of his disappearance and asks me to push it. So that's what I've been doing. That's why we cover him every week, because that's what the chief there in Independence asked us to do. He asked us to push it, so we're going to do it.
Yeah, it's just like the Alex. There's a lot of flyers that Ricky does like this, where the flyer says things like it says in the red box, suspected murder, and that's from the people offering the governor's reward. So those are very high up. People believe that there's a high chance that Dietrich was murdered. But Alexander Perez, there's a bunch of cases where it just says missing, but like it's one of those things, like you don't know where his remains are or anything. So at the end of the day, he's just a missing person. But it's seems like the law enforcement's pretty confident that Dietrich's no longer with us.
Right. If somebody needs to do the right thing and give up what they know, that'll help bring him home.
Raven says, I can't wrap my head around so many that have just vanished. That's right. One thing that, like, I was talking to somebody about today in a private messenger. I was like, I never understood why certain cases get so much, certain cases get so much attention, but like as of right now, like, let me look it up as of right now, because there's like a few cases that just get tons of attention in the state of Kansas. As of right now, as I'm sitting here, Wednesday, January 15th at 9:09 p.m., 190 children in the state of Kansas are currently missing. 190 missing children. We'll probably cover 7 or 8 to 10 tonight. We're barely scratching the surface. Right. And 388 current adults that are missing right now in the state of Kansas. So,
that's crazy.
One thing to keep in mind, but there's a lot of people out there that need to be found. But go ahead. This is another case where I was kind of talking about. Ricky will kind of read this, and the more we talk about this, you'll kind of understand. It says missing person, but there's a lot more to the story, probably.
Right. Alexander Perez, he's missing from Ulysses, Kansas since December 1st, 2020. Was 35 when he went missing. He's now 39. He's 5'11", 235 pounds, black hair that he shaves nearly bald, and brown eyes. He had contacted a family member via telephone on December 1st and said he'd be coming over to do some laundry. He never arrived at the family member's home in Ulysses. He has not been heard from or seen by family or friends since then. He had been staying with family and friends prior to his disappearance. Again, at the time of his disappearance, he was 35. He's now 39. He's 5'11", weighs 235 pounds. He has black hair that he shaves nearly bald, and brown eyes. He does have a tattoo of a bumblebee on his face underneath his left eye. He has Perez tattooed on one of his arms, and he has a tattoo of a cross on a chain across his chest. Any information regarding Alexander's disappearance, or of his whereabouts, please call the Grant County, Kansas Sheriff's Office at 620-356-3500, or the Ulysses, Kansas Police Department at 620-356-4600, or KBI at 785-296-4017. and see if we can help get Alexander back home to his family where he needs to be. I keep thinking about that one last phone message that he had sent and talking about how things are getting crazy in Garden City and how he was almost robbed and beaten up and stuff of that nature. And it's just a really ominous message considering he went missing shortly thereafter. So,
Well, no, the so if the date thing was what always weirded me out. So what? I'm on another screen, so I'm looking for that. I'm looking for that video to see if I can find. What day did he go missing?
it was December 1st, 2020.
Okay, December 1st, 2020. The date. I don't have that. It doesn't look like it's probably on my hard drive. I'll get it for next week. Just remind me. The date that voicemail was sent to our source was the 6th. So he wasn't seen since December 1st, but our source got and it wasn't a voicemail. It was like on Facebook, you can send a voice memo.
Right.
Alexander sent our source a voice memo on the 6th, and it was time dated. And as Ricky stated earlier, he said that he had been held at gunpoint. They tried to rob him. They tried to beat him up. And he said there's crazy things going on in GC with Garden City. Me and my wife met in Garden City. I lived there for like 10 years. We had our children. I never had any problems. I'm not stupid. I know that there's obviously drug issues and crime issues in Garden City. I don't want that to be an endorsement that Garden City is a bad place. There's bad stuff everywhere you go. But he did kind of harp on he was having a rough time in Garden City. I'm looking through my texts here because I produce a new show. Yeah. Okay. So I'm going to be going to Ulympus soon to film for Rob Wilson's new show, Dirt Roads and Main Streets. I'm going to print a crap load of Alexander's flyers and just hang them all over Ulysses.
Cool.
I bet you they've never been there, man. On Facebook,
I've never been there.
Never printed any there.
All right. And Defer is saying Garden City has gotten scary, and then Raven pretty much concurred with that. Says that's where I moved here from. Super scary there. And get to Decking Point says that Raven and that Defer, it certainly is.
Yeah, it's like I said, it's both. It's both. Like there's good stuff, there's bad stuff,
right. But I mean, to your point, any town has its good points, its bad points, its secrets, its dark sides. I mean, it's that way with any town, no matter how big, no matter how small.
Yeah, I'm in a town with like the website says Elkhart has like 2,500. Mm-hmm. I would probably guess closer to 1,200. I don't know. I've never counted them all. But yeah, it's a tiny, tiny town, and you can find a lot of bad stuff here too. But I still love it here, and my kids love it, and it is where you make it. Real quick, I'm going to post from our studio here. We got a lot of people probably watching on my channel, Derek Evan Relaford. But as much as I appreciate you subscribing to me and following me and doing all that, if you could please, the official page, Ricky's actually a client of mine. I've been working with for 5 years. This is Ricky's official page. It's in my chat. It's just Ricky Chabruggy - Kansas Missing and Unsolved. Go give him a subscription. Give him a follow. We go live there every week with this show. And 100% go to, if you're a Facebook user, go to Facebook and just type in Kansas Missing and Unsolved and follow Ricky's page. He's got, is it 90,000 yet or just right at it? 94,000 followers. And my wife has access to his metrics, and his posts reach about 1 million people every like 30 days. So he's doing over there on Facebook. Let's show him some love on YouTube. Let's talk about Jonathan Jensen. Typically, his daughter is in the chat with us. I haven't seen her tonight, but we do have a lot of chat. But go ahead and read it, and then we'll get some more comments.
Alrighty. This is Jonathan Jensen, and he is missing from Kerwin, Kansas since June 14th, 2023. He's 52 when he went missing. He's now 54. He's 5'11", 190 pounds, brown hair, hazel eyes. He didn't leave without his vehicle, his cell phone, or his wallet. Again, at the time of his disappearance, he's 52. He's now 54. 5'11", weighs 190 pounds. He has brown hair and hazel eyes. If you have any information regarding Jonathan's disappearance, so you know of his whereabouts, please call the Phillips County, Kansas Sheriff's Office at 785-543-6885, or the KBI at 785-296-4017, and see if we can help get him located and back to where he needs to be. And I will be soon adding a couple more photos to his flyer that I got a hold of, so I need to do that. But yeah, I'm going to add some more photos to his flyer, see if that'll help.
I'm 41 and time just flies by. It seems like it was Grandpa's cough medicine came to Elkhart in July, and it seems just like it was like a few weeks ago. He's been missing a while.
Yeah. A long while. I haven't seen Jessica pop in tonight yet either.
Oh, she was here last week. We'll have to let we're doing the cold cases. Well, we can switch it every week. But we're doing colder cases towards the top of the show.
CB Singer says, good show, Ricky. Thank you. And Texas Panhandle Girl says, hi, all. Patrick Orion, hey, how you doing?
CB
Singer.
He apparently knows my house is, so I'm going to give him your address too, Ricky, just so he knows if we ever don't show up for a show, he can knock and let us know.
Right.
We need to be like, CB, good seeing you, buddy. Any updates on Haley Davis? I know her brother was tuning in for a while. I have not heard from him pretty much since you guys did that event, or he had that event. But go ahead and talk about it.
Yeah, the vigil that they had during the summer. Haley Davis missing from here in Salina since July 21st, 2023. She's 19 when she went missing. She's now 20. 5'6" to 5'7", weighs between 190 and 200 pounds. Her hair was last known to be dyed bleach blonde, and she has blue eyes. She left Salina with a male acquaintance to go to Wichita, Kansas. She was last active on her social media and last heard from July 21st. Again, at the time of her disappearance, she was 19. She's now 20, 5'6" to 5'7" inches tall. Weighs between 190 and 200 pounds. Her hair was last known to be dyed bleach blonde, and she has blue eyes. If you have any information regarding Haley's disappearance or you know of her whereabouts, please call the Salina, Kansas Police Department at 785-826-7210 or call Crime Stoppers at 785-825-8477, or you can text SA TIPS to CRIMES, which is 274-637, or go to www.pd.salina.org and follow the Crime Stoppers link to submit a tip that way. Or you can call the Wichita, Kansas Police Department at 316-268-4181, or 316-268-4407, or 316-263-6011, or KBI at 785-296-4017. I added the Wichita information a while back because I had found out that they are involved in the investigation as well on their end, since she did go to Wichita, or was believed to have gone to Wichita with a male acquaintance. So if you have any, whether you're in Salina or Wichita, and you have any information regarding Haley's disappearance, make the call. Call either the Salina authorities, call Wichita authorities, but let one of them know what you know so they can investigate it. Let's see if we can get her back home, because, as Derek mentioned, I did go to the vigil that her family had in Sunset Park here in town, and I did talk to her brother and her aunt. I saw her little boy, and it's just heartbreaking to see families that go through this with no answers, don't know where she's at, don't know what happened to her. And it's just heartbreaking to see. It really is. There was a lot of tears shed by everybody that day. So let's see what we can do to help get her found and back home.
And it seemed like she was really close with her son. So usually you see 19, you're thinking, okay, maybe there's a chance she just went off to do her own thing. But from what you say, she's pretty close to her son. I don't see her just off with her being that close to her son.
Yeah.
If she didn't have a son, I'd be like, maybe she's just doing her thing, but that does make it's very scary.
Yeah, and she's been missing 1.5 years now, so it's been a while.
Yeah.
CB Slinger says he sent you a present.
Oh boy. Jessica Jensen is here.
There she is.
Hi, Jessica.
Yeah, we covered him just a few minutes ago.
And Ricky was saying he is going to put some new pictures up there.
Yeah, I've got a couple of pictures I've gotten a hold of. I'm going to add. Let's see if that can help.
Hope you feel better, Patrick.
Yeah, my brother is saying he has a bad feeling about Haley's case. Yeah, I do too.
Mark is saying still looking for Kyle Neugbauer. Do you have a flyer for Kyle?
Yeah, it's loaded for the show. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, so we're good.
I hope I pronounced right. Is it Neugbauer or Neugbauer, or how is it pronounced? Mark, help me out with that.
I didn't do well doing it. Yeah. Patrick's saying that we're being wusses because he's from South Dakota. Well, listen. Okay, I just got back from the desert. Give me 2 years to acclimate, Patrick. I'm freezing hard. I've never been cold my whole life. I'm a big guy, but I just shiver all the time.
Yeah.
Yeah, Haley's case is pretty.
Yeah.
Ravis has too many missing in Wichita. I was talking about that too. Like like a lot of that. I was talking to somebody. I was like, a lot of it is foster kids. I've noticed when we start
Yeah.
seeing on it, you'll kind of mention that if you've made several flyers for them, and sometimes it's the foster system. So
She said Texas Panhandle Girl says she almost came in as her alter ego name. Okay. 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 The Neugebauer, is that correct? Or Neugebauer? I'm guessing Neugebauer.
it was 28, and his son had shorts on. Yeah,
Good
children
gravy.
that are missing do not get attention they
I
should.
agree with that. That's why we do what we do here. Is a lot of the ones that I do are actually in the system. Neugebauer. Okay, thank you.
Jessica says
He's also mentally ill. Would you like me to add that little tidbit to his flyer, Jessica? Because I can sure do that.
I would.
Yeah.
I know if I was missing, Stephanie would have, because I have bipolar disorder and stuff. She would be like, put on there that he might be cranky.
Hey, where's Chloe? I have to check that. Is that a missing person? Is Chloe or what?
I'm not sure. It just says, where's Chloe?
Trying to get a piece of paper off
He's in my part of the woods.
There we go.
Yeah, I think you're saying it the first time you said it is right.
Okay, good. Making some notes so I don't forget.
I can be there.
I had to get some paper so I could write. Don't want to make notes.
Right. Yeah. All right. Well, let's test your reading skills. Let's see if you can remember the note you just took.
Okay. All right. And this one we were just talking about him, Kyle Neugebauer, missing from Wichita since December 17th, 2024. 26 years old, 6 foot tall, 155 pounds, brown hair, brown eyes. Last seen near 143rd and Highway 254 in Wichita. And he's 26. He's 6 foot tall, weighs 155 pounds, has brown hair and brown eyes. He was last seen wearing a black Carhartt jacket, jogging pants, and tennis shoes. If you do have any information regarding Kyle's disappearance, you know his whereabouts, please call the Wichita, Kansas Police Department at 316-268-4181 or 316-268-4111 or 316-263-6011 or KBI 785-296-4017 and see if we can help get Kyle located and back home to his family.
Wichita, Kansas. So he's 6 foot. I recently just heard a fact, and I Googled it. Only 14.5% of American men are 6 feet tall. So, like, if somebody's tall, you can usually pick them out. For those that can't tell on the screen, I've met Ricky Chibuggy in real life once. He's actually 3'6", or at least what it seemed like.
5'6", yeah. And Mark says, I just want to thank you both for doing what you do. It really means a lot. He has not forgotten. Dad loves you.
So December 17th. So he's been missing for about a month.
Getting close, yeah. You're very welcome, Mark. That's what We've been doing this every week for about 4 years now, almost 5 years.
Mm.
So yeah, we're gonna keep doing it.
Well, I bring up his height. He's a bigger dude. He's a tall dude. Looking at his pictures here, like, I don't know Kyle at all, but he looks like somebody who could probably take care of himself. So, I hope maybe he's just, clearing his head, taking a break, doing his thing. Hopefully everything's fine and he'll come home soon. When I was 26, I took off a lot. I did tell people, but I did go.
Here's your one.
Oh no.
Oh man. Yeah, and Patrick is saying children's services everywhere has not changed much in years. He was raised in the Houston Child Services. So okay. Yeah, I think there's a lot within the child services that
they're not all bad though. I want to start with Ricky raised 2 daughters that he adopted, and they're good. Like they're fine. They haven't been on this show, thank God. No, they've never been. One of your daughters did scare you. You said for like 15 minutes, for a little while you couldn't find her, but your kids are good and everything. So not all foster systems are bad, but it definitely it definitely has it definitely has the all the ingredients for a hostile environment. Teenagers and parents that don't know each other.
Right. And I've said this about foster kids too. I think there's a big misconception with foster kids that because they're in the foster system, they're bad kids. And I think that's a huge misconception because a lot of these kids, a lot of them don't end up in foster care because of their actions. A lot of times it's because of their parents' actions. My two are an example of that. They were just very young we brought my younger one home when she was a day and a half old. So, there's nothing she could have done to get herself put in the system. So,
Yeah.
but like I say, there's a lot of these kids that don't end up there by them, by their own doing. It's sometimes by the parents' decision. So,
I always say too, like I know, I was raised by my mom and stepdad, but I know people who were raised by both of their natural born parents and they ran away it's not like even if you have a biological relationship that everything's hunky dory. So even if biological relationships between parents and kids can get rocky, then of course, like if you have a foster, it's a situation that needs a lot of TLC, and sadly, I feel like our next section is going to be dedicated to missing and endangered teens, and I'm just going to take an educated guess that some of them are in the foster system.
yeah. And Kendra McMasters Browns, thank you for all you do. Thank you for showcasing my nephew Kyle Nugebauer. Very welcome, Kendra.
Yeah.
Now we're going to move on to another one here. This is Timothy Ritter. I was asked to reshare his because he is still not been located yet. And I'll just try to see if I can read his off the screen because I didn't pull it. Missing from Leavenworth, Kansas since May 15th, 2024. He's 35, 5'11", weighs between 140 and 165 pounds, brown hair and blue eyes. He's been living homeless and has no vehicle. He gets around on foot. Again, he's 35 years old, 5'11", weighs between 140 and 165 pounds, brown hair and blue eyes. If you have any information regarding Timothy's disappearance, you know his whereabouts, please call the Leavenworth, Kansas Police Department at 913-682-4411 or 651-2280 or 2260? Yeah. Or the KBI is 785-296-4017. See if we can't get Timothy located and back to where he needs to be. Yes, he's been missing quite a while. So let's see if we can't get him located.
Oklahoma put out a call needing foster parents. They have 769 kids needing placements in homes. I think that's a bad way of looking for. Well, another thing, and sorry to be weird, but I think that the reason there's a lot of bad situations too, because there are people out there on this planet who want to hurt children. And when you have a newspaper ad that says Oklahoma has 740 kids that they need houses for, bad people are probably like, oh, really? You have some kids you need placed. To me, I think, again, it gives good foster parents a bad name with just a lot of people that bring these kids to them. I'm glad they have a roof, but I don't think that they're a good fit. A lot of them, Again, I don't have numbers in front of me, but I just think that, like you said, it's not a great way of looking for homes, for kids.
All right. I'm going to one more time give those numbers for Leavenworth Police Department again. Is 913-682-4411, 913-651-2260. And of course, KBI is 785-296-4017. So just to make sure I get those read correctly.
Rodney Cox is here over on the Facebook page.
Wow. I was just reading Roxanne's comment there. Oklahoma put out a call needing foster parents. They have 769 kids needing placements. Wow. That is crazy.
What are your thoughts on Double T's comment, Haley Davis comparing to Megan Fogelsong case?
Possibly. I guess I'd have to say to it, all avenues are wide open in my book. It could be that. It could be anything. So it's hard to say. I've heard, of course, the rumor mill turns, and of course you hear the rumor mills and you don't know what's fact, what's not, but I'm a theorist, and one of my theories is even rumors can carry a small morsel of truth in some way, so it's just hard to know. You just got to be able to weed through it and find it.
She says that regardless of how children are valued and should be received, and just yeah.
You know, because I've heard some pretty interesting rumors regarding Haley and her brother. You know, he's gotten some pretty interesting information that he's gotten, but he doesn't know how factual it is either. So, you know, it's just a matter of being able to verify things, I guess.
Yeah.
What I would say, sorry if it offends anyone, but child services has become one of the. Yeah, I don't know. I've seen a lot of people say that. You know, I don't know. It's possible.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know if you know, that's a pretty bold statement. Again, I'm not going to say like anybody's wrong or anything, but I've seen enough people kind of echo that sentiment to know that maybe it's a conversation that needs to be had for sure.
Yeah. Right. And now we're going to talk about Jordan Johnson. He's missing out of Kansas City, Kansas. It's September 20th of 2024. He's 22. He's 5'8" to 5'9", weighs 180 pounds, brown hair, brown eyes. He does have ties to the following places: Argentine, Emporia, and Pittsburgh, Kansas. And occasionally traveled to Sunrise Beach, Missouri, Lake of the Ozarks. His cell phone activity stopped at the end of September. And he's 22. He's 5'8" to 5'9", weighs 180 pounds, has brown hair and green eyes. So I got brown on one and green on the other. Doggone it. I have to fix that. And if you have any information regarding Jordan's disappearance, you know his whereabouts, please call the Kansas City, Kansas Police Department at 913-596-3000 or KBI at 785-296-4017. See if we can't get him located and back to where he needs to be. The eye thing happened because I was going from two different sources, and one said brown, one said green.
Oh, okay.
And it could be kind of like my eyes, where they're brown with a tinge touch of hazel around the outside. So,
we got one more cold case, and we're going to switch over to the endangered runaways, teen runaway segment.
And this is another one here. Jamie Jasmine Zubia Hernandez. This is actually an unsolved homicide. 13-year-old Jamie Jasmine Zubia Hernandez ran away from her foster home in Wathena, Kansas on June 9, 2012. Prior to her disappearance, Jamie had recently been prosecuted in a juvenile court for drug possession. She was due in court for her sentencing shortly after her disappearance. Jamie never showed up and was never seen by her foster family again. There was unfortunately very little media coverage on Jamie's disappearance, likely due to her runaway status. 3 years later, during the early morning hours of May 30th, 2015, a Kansas City resident called the police to report a shootout in the 2500 block of Ridge Avenue. According to the witness, two vehicles fired shots at each other, and a female passenger in one of the vehicles was killed as a result. The female passenger's body was dumped on the side of the road, and the vehicles drove off before the police arrived. 2 days later, on June 1st, 2015, authorities announced that the slain female was identified as Jamie. The identity of Jamie's killer remains unknown, as does the identity of the driver in the car that she was riding in when she was shot. Additionally, Jamie's whereabouts from June 2012 to May 2015 still remain a mystery. Although she was ultimately found in Kansas City, it's unknown where she stayed or how she survived during those 3 years. Investigators said they did receive a tip that Jamie was in Kansas City back in 2013, but when they followed said lead, they were not able to find her. At that time, police were searching for a late 1990s or early 2000s white Ford F-150 with flare sides, tinted windows, 20-inch chrome rims, and a touchscreen device in the cab. The truck was located June 2nd, 2015, unoccupied, and it was taken and processed for evidence. If you have any information regarding Jamie's murder, please call the Wathena, Kansas Police Department at 785-989-4521, or you can call the tips line anonymously at 816-474-8477. or KBI at 1-800-572-7463, or you can scan the QR code on the flyer there, and it'll take you to the KC Crime Stoppers website, and they have a Crime Stoppers link there. You can submit your information that way as well. So let's see what we can do to get justice for Jasmine and her family and friends, and see what we can do to help them.
All right, we're going to do another segment. We'll be right back after this. Stay tuned for more Kansas Missing and Unsolved podcast.
Part 2. Endangered Runaways. Young Lives at Risk. Stories that demand attention and a race against time. Together we can make a difference.
Well, I was just reading Patrick Ryan's comment there.
I'm in the wrong. These aren't right. I'm in the wrong one. Hold on. There we go. I was in the wrong. Not a runaway. Okay, go ahead.
Oops. Yeah, this is Zoe Evans. She is missing from Topeka, Kansas since today, June 15, 2025. She's 15, 5'3", 135 pounds, brown hair, brown eyes. She was last seen in the Washburn High School area in Topeka. And she's 15, 5'3", 135 pounds, brown hair, brown eyes. She was last known to be wearing a red Under Armour hoodie, black and white flannel pants, and nude pink high top Converse shoes. And she may be possibly wearing a silver chain. If you have any information regarding Zoe's disappearance, you know her whereabouts, please call the Shawnee County, Kansas Sheriff's Office, 785-251-2200, or the KBI at 785-296-4017. See if we can't get Zoe located and back home to where she needs to be.
Topeka's huge. I went there
Yeah.
a few years, about 5-6 years ago to play a gig, and it freaked me out.
Yeah. I actually saw Zoe on her post on her on the Topeka, Kansas police scanner page, and so I reached out to her mom and clarified some things I needed to clarify, and then made the flyer and got it posted. So, see what we can do to help Zoe's family out here.
This scanner page.
It was the Topeka, Kansas scanner page is where I found her, where I ran across her in my news feed, actually.
Does Salina still have one, though?
Yeah. My brother just actually, he stepped away from the one that he had originally had started, and because it's under new ownership, and he has created a new one. So it's called the Salina Source.
Nice.
Yeah. And this one here is Legiana Camerona Simone Johnson. I believe we've covered her last week or week before, but I added the far left-hand picture to the flyer last night and wanted to cover her again. Missing from Florence, Kansas since January 1st, 2025. She's 15, 5'2", weighs between 190 and 200 pounds, black hair and brown eyes. She does go by the nickname Lele. And she's 15, 5'2", weighs between 190 and 200 pounds, has black hair and brown eyes. If you have any information regarding Eligiana's disappearance, you know her whereabouts, please call the Marion County, Kansas Sheriff's Office at 620-382-2144 or KBI at 785-296-4017. See if we can help get her located and back to where she needs to be. Oh my goodness.
Alan
I was reading Patrick's again. Small town children's services are better than inner cities like Houston and Dallas. He was in CPS because his mom tried to kill him when he was 7, but I was on the street till CPS took me at 10. Holy crud. I'm sorry to hear that, Patrick.
Alan is here.
And Raven says, Derek, I love this channel because we are free to be safe. Not sure what that means exactly, but okay.
It's because the only people we've ever banned were like comments we couldn't read because they were in like weird languages, and we were like, we don't know what that is. That was like years ago. We haven't seen any of those weird YouTube. I think that's the only people we've ever banned is like if it was like a weird YouTube comment and it had like a weird, we didn't know who it was. It was, yeah. We've never banned anybody.
I have been deleting a lot of comments that have those links that look like official news links, and they caption them like police have released scary body cam footage of the incident or something of that nature.
Opinion. That's somebody, and you have to delete them because like if you have like a page, especially on Facebook, Dodgecast, they're a podcast about Anadarko, Oklahoma on Back Home Media's audio division. And they had to stop. They would do these contests on Facebook, and just putting the word contest on Facebook, these profiles that would look just like theirs would pop up and then email their followers and say, hey, you won. What's your personal, and get addresses. And it wasn't them. Like that's different. But yeah, like, I don't think we would, ban anybody for having an opinion. Here we go. Topeka is another area of hotspot for missing people and for trafficking. Let me see.
Yeah, my brother said the groups that he admins gets them constantly. Yeah, I get them on every flyer I do. As soon as I post the flyer, man, there was one girl that I had posted a flyer for. I can't remember her name, but I looked in the comments not long after I posted it. There was like 6 of those links in the comments. I was like, holy crap. So I started delete. And I can block them. I don't block them, but I could. But I figure why block them? And they're just going to start another profile and come at me again, you know? So I just keep delete. And it slows them down for a little bit, but then they'll start up again when I post new flyers. So I just got to keep delete. And I'm going to keep doing that.
As far as live streams go, like I've never had a mod ever. And I'm far too lazy to like ban people. But like to me, like I enjoy freedom of speech because even if somebody says something I don't agree with, like I think that if somebody's willing to say something so, you know, out there that it gives me a free pass to not pay attention to them anymore, like I appreciate that, you know, like I'm glad somebody's willing to say something really dumb and let me know not to take them seriously anymore. So I try not to ban people. I feel like if people say something that's awful, let it sit there and let it marinate. Let them delete it if they regret it in a few days. I don't know.
Yeah. Yep. And this is another one that I did the other day. Tiavani Williams, another Wichita case, unfortunately. Been missing since January 6th of this year. She's 15, 5'2", weighs between 105 and 117 pounds. Black hair that was last known to be dyed burnt orange and brown, and she has brown eyes. She no longer has braids in her hair, as it shows on the picture there. If you have any information regarding Tiavani's disappearance, you know her whereabouts, please call the Wichita, Kansas Police Department at 316-660-9456 or 316-660-9254 or 316-263-6011 or the KBI at 785-296-4017 and see if we can't get Tiavani located and back to where she needs to be. Okay, this is Exton Peters. Did a flyer for him before, and he was located, and he is missing again from Roseville, Kansas. Since January 10th of 2025, he's 16, 5'10" to 6 foot, weighs between 130 and 140 pounds. Dark brown, black hair, and blue-gray eyes. He was last seen at his school. When his rider arrived to pick him up after school, he was not at the school. And he's 16, he's 5'10" to 6 foot, weighs between 130 and 140 pounds. Has dark brown, black hair, and blue-gray eyes. If you have any information regarding Exton's disappearance, you know his whereabouts, please call the Roseville, Kansas Police Department at 316-776-0191 or the KBI at 785-296-4017 and see if we can't get Exton located and back where he needs to be.
It's a cool name.
Yeah, it is. It is cool. Yeah. I love it when I get phone calls from places or people, from places I don't know. Get them all day long. It's like, gosh, if I don't know you and if I don't know the number and I don't know the town or the state that it's coming from, it's like, I don't answer.
iPhone usually says scam likely.
Some does. Mine says potential spam sometimes. Not on all of them, but a majority of them.
I ran out of gas on the side. I was like so pissed off the other day. I ran out of gas trying to get back to Elkhart, and I could leave and go get these new glasses. I was supposed to get these last week, but we missed the time frame. But I was on the side of the road, and I knew I had to wait like an hour and a half for my help to get there with a gallon of gas. So I was like 5 miles to the next town. So it wasn't. I just had to wait for like 2 hours, and I was mad, dude. I was like so mad. And then my phone rings, and it was some number I didn't know, and it didn't say scam likely. So I was like, what the hell? So I answered it, and it was like some TV producer from he does a show with he's a producer from Keeping Up with the Kardashians. And they're doing like a documentary about this missing mom case, and but I told him no thanks, I don't want to do that. But that was the first time I ever received a call that it was actually like a real person.
Oh wow.
I was like, but it didn't say scam likely. Like if it says every call I've ever gotten when it's just a number, never answer that.
Yeah. Well, defer. Have a good night, and thank you for joining us, and hope to see you on future shows. Reading some stuff here. All right. Well, we covered Exton. Who's next on the list?
Next, we have Caden.
which we've done flyers for him in the past as well. Missing from Topeka, Kansas since January 2nd of this year. He's 15, 5'10", weighs between 220 and 250 pounds, light brown hair, blue eyes. Don't have much more than that, but if you have any information regarding Caden's disappearance or you know of his whereabouts, please call the Topeka, Kansas Police Department at 785-368-9200 or the KBI at 785-296-4017. See if we can't get Caden located and back to where he needs to be. And I do apologize for the quality of the photos of him, but that's what I was sent. So I had to use what I had to work with.
Sometimes that's all you got.
Yeah. This one is Peter Sawyer. I know we've covered him before, but again, missing from Wichita, Kansas since January 7th, 2025. He's 15. He's 5'8" to 5'11", weighs between 120 and 125 pounds, blonde hair, blue eyes, maybe using the name Armani Tatum, which my understanding is that's his birth name, and Peter Sawyer is his adopted name. And he's 15, 5'8" to 5'11", weighs between 120 and 125 pounds, has blonde hair and blue eyes. If you have any information regarding Peter's disappearance, you know of his whereabouts, please call the Wichita, Kansas Police Department, 316-660-9254 or 316-660-9456. Excuse me. Excuse me. Or 316-263-6011 or the KBI at 785-296-4017. See if we can't get him located and back to where he needs to be.
With him, he's 15, and then because when I saw the Armani Tatum thing, I was like, where did he get that? You know, that's like a unique name. Where did he get that? But then he said, maybe, you know, I don't know anything, but maybe he's just. I was born Derek Trevino. My name's Derek Relaford, so I was adopted.
Right.
So I know what it's like to be 15 and kind of want to know what it would be like if you didn't change, you know, if you were just who you, so, you know, I could see how, I'm only talking about the name thing. I could see why he goes by that because like, that's an identity thing, you know, your name gets changed and when you're a kid and your name gets changed, you might get asked and stuff, but it really doesn't, I don't feel like it's a lot of your choice, you know, like you kind of, your name just gets changed.
Yeah, like so my understanding is that the Armani Tatum is his birth name and the Peter Sawyer is his adopted name. So
yeah, I can see that.
Yep. And this is one that just did tonight, which we've done a flyer for her before in the past as well. Miss Gloria Kennedy, missing from Kansas City, Kansas since January 14th, 2025. She's 14, 5'2" to 5'4", weighs between 130 and 140 pounds, has brown hair and blue eyes. She did not return home from school yesterday. If you have any information regarding Gloria's disappearance, you know her whereabouts, please call the Kansas City, Kansas Police Department at 913-596-3000 or the KBI at 785-296-4017 and see if we can't get Gloria located and back to where she needs to be.
All right, guys, we have 10 minutes left. We're going to do one more segment, then we will get out of here. Thanks for tuning in. Please stick around. Share the show if you know anybody in the area and they want to help us try to find some people. We'll be right back after this.
Part 3, Out-of-State Cases. Beyond Kansas borders, stories of the lost and the unsolved remind us that every missing voice deserves to be heard.
Yeah, true. This one's Cynthia Renee Gonzalez. This is an unsolved homicide out of Arlington, Texas. On September 17, 1991, Cynthia Renee Gonzalez was reported missing to the Arlington, Texas Police Department. On September 22nd, 1991, Cynthia's body was discovered in a creek bed off County Road 313 in Johnson County, Texas. It was later determined that Cynthia died from multiple gunshot wounds. Cynthia was reportedly at her apartment with her boyfriend when her husband stopped by to deliver their daughter for a weekend visit. Sometime later, Cynthia left for an appointment without her customary bodyguard. She was never seen again. Serial killer Kenneth Allen McDuff was looked at in connection with Cynthia's death. Jim Ford, longtime Arlington police officer and renowned homicide investigator, had looked at McDuff in connection with Cynthia's case for going on 18 years. He was never able to make a match or a mismatch. McDuff was believed to have abducted a victim from her car wash in Austin, Texas. Cynthia's car, a two-seat Pontiac Fiero, was seen parked at a car wash in Arlington the day she disappeared. There were similarities in the Austin case and Cynthia's case. He kidnapped, sexually assaulted, and killed his victim at a car wash in Austin. He dumped the bodies of several of his victims in rural areas. He killed several victims by shooting them. Investigators could not place McDuff in the Arlington area and could not determine whether he was out on the streets at that time, but they could not find him as being incarcerated at that time either. Other persons of interest have come up, but have been cleared as well. McDuff has since been ruled out by DNA. If you have any information regarding Cynthia's death, please contact Detective Stafford at 817-459-5772. If you wish to remain anonymous and possibly receive a reward of up to $1,250, please call the Toronto County, Texas Crime Stoppers at 817-469-8477 and see if we can help get some justice for Cynthia and her family and friends. And it's long overdue. I mean, this is back in 1991.
30 years, bro.
Yeah.
That's scary.
Yep.
I was sitting here doing the math, counting on my hands, and I was like, oh my gosh, that was a long time.
Yeah, it was. Yep. This is Rochelle Elizabeth Hammond, missing from Moscow, Colorado since August 15, 2019. She was 30 when she went missing. She's now 35. She's 5'6", 120 pounds, black hair and brown eyes. She was last seen walking away from a Moscow, Colorado home. She left all of her belongings behind, including her phone, her identification, her car, computer, tools, and pet dog. Rochelle had been living in the area for about 3 weeks prior to her disappearance. She had previously lived in the Columbus, Ohio area. She may be living homeless. Although police can find little evidence in her disappearance, her mother believes she did not leave of her own accord and may have become a human trafficking victim. She does suffer from bipolar disorder and schizophrenia and has been prescribed medication for her conditions, which she also left behind. Rochelle's nose is pierced. She has numerous tattoos, including the phrase "live like a lion" on her upper chest, a star behind her ear, a skull on the back of her wrist, stars on the inside of her forearm, cat with a bong on her shoulder, and other tattoos, and there are some of them pictured there at the bottom there. She was last known to be wearing a black tank top, khaki shorts, black Nike shoes, and a silver circular barbell in her nose. If you have any information regarding Rochelle's disappearance, or you know her whereabouts, please call the Alamosa County, Colorado Sheriff's Office at 719-589-6608 and see if we can help get Rochelle located and back to where she needs to be. And that's the dunes of Moscow, Colorado. I never would have thought Colorado would have dunes. It just doesn't seem right.
I want to go visit it. I looked it up. It's like 12 hours from me, so it's far.
Yeah, I think of dunes. I think of a hot, deserty place, not Colorado.
Yeah, somebody had mentioned that a few months ago in our chat that there was dunes there, and I started looking into it, and it's just there's a lot of dunes there.
That's crazy. And here is Dana Jane Bruce. She is missing from Sedalia, Missouri since October 4th, 2008. She was 23 when she went missing. She's now 39, 5'2", 98 pounds, brown hair, green or hazel eyes. She was last seen at her children's babysitter's home in Sedalia. She left the children there earlier that day so she could go out for the evening. She returned at midnight and gave the babysitter more money and asked her to watch the children for the rest of the night. Dana was seen at Malone's Bar on Main Street with a young man driving a late model red Ford F-150 truck earlier on the night of her disappearance. She left with that man at 11:30 p.m. Police have identified the man that Dana was with on the night that she vanished. He traveled to Atlanta, Georgia after her disappearance, and police questioned him about Dana after he was arrested there on unrelated charges of marijuana possession and driving on a suspended license. Authorities have not named him publicly, but they are calling him a person of interest in her case. He told his questioners that he and Dana parted ways after they left the bar, and he never saw her again after that. She left all of her belongings behind, including her hairbrush and a toothbrush. She does not have any credit cards, debit cards, checking account, cell phone, or a car. Again, she was 23 when she went missing. She would now be 39, 5'2", weighs 98 pounds, has brown hair that was colored brown at the roots, black at the ends with red highlights and green or hazel eyes. Last known to be wearing a black shirt with the word Rebel and silver lettering on the front and blue jeans. Has a tattoo of a teddy bear with wings and the name Dylan on her upper left arm. She is blind in her left eye. She has a 2-inch scar along her lower spine and a staple scar on her right shoulder. Her ears are pierced one time each. If you have any information regarding Dana's disappearance, you know her whereabouts, please call the Sedalia, Missouri Police Department at 660-827-7823 or 660-826-8100. or the Missouri State Highway Patrol at 573-526-6178, or their toll-free number is 866-362-6422, or you can call private investigator Leslie at 910-427-0070 and see if we can help get Dana located and back home where she needs to be.
3 more flyers and we will get out of here. Thanks everybody for tuning in. Norm will be in studio for Sunday at 5, and then Hope will be here Sunday at 8 for 7-day circles. So
Cool.
to be tuned in this week.
Cool. And this one is Holly Lynn Snap. She is missing out of Kingsport, Tennessee since October 5th, 2023. She was 19 when she was missing. She's now 20. She's 4'9", 80 pounds, brown hair, hazel eyes. She was last seen in the area of Bell Ridge Drive in Kingsport. Holly Lynn mentally functions significantly lower than her actual age. She functions more like a 9 or a 10-year-old. When she was 19 when she was missing, she's now 20. She's 4'9", 80 pounds. She has brown hair and hazel eyes. She has a tattoo of the all-seeing eye and a pyramid and a circle on her inner left forearm, which is pictured down there on the far right there. If you have any information regarding Holly Lynn's disappearance, you know her whereabouts, please call the Sullivan County, Tennessee Sheriff's Office at 423-279-7330 or Detective Anthony Stevens at 423-279-7330 or the TBI at 1-800-824-3463 or private investigator Steve Fisher at 877-619-9890 and see if we can help get Holly Lynn located and back to where she needs to be.
That's awful, man.
Yeah, I know. It's awful. And Ellen says, thank you for sharing Dana and Rochelle's flyers every week, and you're very welcome. They're just calling you about your car's extended warranty. LOL. Oh, yeah. Yep, great live, guys. Thank you for giving attention to all these people who truly deserve to be. Thank you. You're welcome, Raven. Thank you. Thank you.
Looks like you got a double flyer here.
Yeah, Melissa Ann Trumpy. She's missing out of Shannon, Illinois since October 26, 2021. 37 when she was missing. She's now 40, 5'10", 163 pounds, blonde hair, blue eyes. She was last seen in Monroe, Wisconsin. Authorities believe she traveled from Monroe, Wisconsin to Shannon, Illinois to visit her boyfriend, Derek Hammer, who in 2023 was in Stevenson County Jail on a drug charge. He's also charged in a domestic abuse case against Melissa in Greene County, Wisconsin from an incident back in September 2021. Melissa's vehicle was later found abandoned on a rural road in Stevenson County, Illinois, shortly after her disappearance. At the time of her disappearance, she was 37. She's now 40, 5'10", weighs 163 pounds, has blonde hair and blue eyes. She's believed to have fake nails, fake lashes, and long extensions in her hair. She also has several piercings, 4 earring studs on her left cheekbone, 3 earring studs on her right cheekbone, a nose loop in her left nostril, and an upper lip stud. She also has multiple tattoos on her chest, both arms, and both legs. Has a full sleeve tattoo on her right arm from her wrist to her chest, an unidentified tattoo inside her middle finger on her right hand, an unidentified tattoo on her right ankle, and another sleeve on the outside of her left leg from hip to ankle. And that's why there's a double flyer, because the other one has a lot of the tattoos shown there. If you have any information regarding Melissa's disappearance, you know her whereabouts, please call the Greene County, Wisconsin Sheriff's Office at 608-328-9581 or the Carroll County, Illinois Sheriff's Office at 815-244-2635. And then anonymous tips may be eligible for a $5,000 cash reward and can be reported to the Greene County Crime Stoppers at 800-422-7463. So let's see what we can do to help get Melissa Ann Trumpy located and back home to where she needs to be. Yeah, I agree with that one right there. To get to Decking Point, says, as my mother used to say, regardless of age, these are all someone's baby prayers for all missing and unsolved persons. I agree with that. And let's see, is this Raven? You guys are the bomb. Do not stop. Keep being the voice of those who have no voice. I appreciate and respect the heck out of you both. Thank you, Raven. I appreciate that.
I might need to go to rehab soon. I'm addicted to these candy bars.
Oh, wow. And are you referring to Holly Lynn Snap on the height and weight on her? Or is that who you're referring to, little brother? because that was the reported height and weight that's been out there for some time. Is the 4'9", 80 pounds. Apparently, she's very tiny.
Very tiny.
Yeah. Yep. Michael Bowers. This is one we've haven't covered for quite some time, actually. David Michael Bowers Jr. missing from Afton, Missouri since September 12, 2021. 18 when he went missing. He's now 21. 5'10", 128 pounds. Brown hair. It's got blonde and green in it, like shows in the center and right-hand pictures there, and brown eyes. He is from Eldon, Missouri, and can possibly be in areas near Eldon. And he was 18 when he was missing. He's now 21, 5'10", weighs 128 pounds, has brown hair that's in dreads with blonde and green tints and brown eyes. He's last seen wearing a white and black hoodie, jeans, and white tennis shoes. Has multiple scars on his arms. He has multiple tattoos, including an eye image on his right thumb and Bart Simpson on his left arm, which you can see there on the pictures. If you have any information regarding David's disappearance or you know of his whereabouts, please call 911 immediately or call the Miller County, Missouri Sheriff's Office at 573-369-2341 or the Missouri State Highway Patrol Missing Persons Unit at 573-526-6178 or their toll-free number 800-877-3452. There's also a $1,000 reward available for information leading to David's safe return. So let's see what we can do to help that out and bring him home to his family. And my brother says, yes, Holly Lynn. That was her. Holly Lynn's reported height and weight was the 4'9", 80 pounds. So I'm assuming she's just a very tiny young lady. So, yeah, it's going to make her appear to be younger than what or look younger than what she is because she's going to be tiny. But, yeah, that is correct.
Yeah.
Yeah. And did you say this was the last one?
Yep, that's the last one that's in here.
Cool. All right. Well, everybody, thank you for joining us tonight. And if you have any case suggestions, feel free to put them in the comments or private message me at Kansas Missing and Unsolved on the page there or my personal profile, Ricky Chabruggi. If you have any cases you want me to cover or any suggestions, let me know. Other than that, I just want to say thank you, everybody, for joining us and hanging with us for the last hour or so and trying to help bring some people home and get some questions to some unsolved homicides. And I just want to say, Heavenly Father, thank you for bringing us together to be able to do this tonight. As always, it's a great blessing to be able to do this every week, and hopefully we continue to do it for weeks to come until we can get some folks brought home and some cases closed. And just pray that these flyers reach the right ears, the right hearts, they'll do the right thing and make the right calls, and until we see each other next week, everybody stay safe. God bless. Take care. Amen. And stay warm.